Welcome everybody, my name is Mr. Llama, and today I am bringing you a remake of the 7 Roach Rush for ZvT, and the reason that I am remaking this is because a lot of people, I don't want to say complained, because it was good, right? It was a necessary thing, but a lot of people were like, hey, that last one wasn't quite as fluid as I was hoping, so it didn't really go over the build and stuff as much. So I'm going to be a little bit more exact and precise with the timings, everything like that. In fact, we're just going to watch my camera watch what I do. So I'm not a huge spammer, so you shouldn't see a lot of jumping all around and stuff. I like to be very basic and easy with my play, I suppose. Just keep it simple. I think decisions over spam is better, but you know, I understand APM spamming as well to keep warm and stuff, so I don't fault those who do it. Anyways, we're going 9 drone, or drone up to 9, get that overlord on 9, then drone to 10. Then we're going to drone up to 15, okay? So 15 out of 18 is when you're going to start thinking about your expansion. You don't build anything more at 15. And then I actually send out a scout here at 13. This is my personal thing, and the reason that I send it to this tower is because then I can kind of get a little scout on the inside here in case they go for some proxy racks. Sometimes you can see it. And I also like to scout cross map in case of proxy racks and stuff. I don't know. I'm weird. Regardless, so 15, pause. So when you're at 15 supply and you are at 200 minerals, this is when you take one of your drones and send it out here to go build an expansion. You do not wait until you have 300 minerals. This is what I see so many people do. No, 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 no. You want to grab a drone right now, 200 minerals, and then you want to move it out here and build this expansion. So we're going to watch. What do? I should be grabbing it. Where's my drone? There it is. So I'm like 35 minerals late there, right? So what do I do there? Because I was late, 35, 40 minerals, I build another drone. So I'm actually going to take a 16 hatch, and the only reason I do this is because now when he gets out here, he'll have 300 minerals. If he got out there and I didn't build that extra drone, I would have 350 minerals, and then I would be putting it down and then getting this drone, and that doesn't make sense, right? If you think about it logically, you're like, wait, if you're building that drone at that point, if you wait until after that hatchery to build it, but you had the money before to build it, then you're just delaying this drone, right? So if you start thinking about the game in terms like that, that'll really help you to kind of catch up. So, you know, normally I would grab a drone at 15, right at 200 minerals, send it out, and build my hatch right at 300. Because I grabbed at like 245, I sent him out, and then I built another drone, and now I'm going to get a hatch. So these are the little things to think about. This is how you start really advancing your play, when you start, you know, noticing these tiny little details. Anyways, at this point, I am back to 15. I'm going to go ahead and drone up to 16 drones, and then I should be getting a pool here. So yes, I'm going to, at 16 drones, I'm going to save to 200. Even if I built a 15 hatch, I would then drone up twice and then take a 16 pool. I just like a 16 pool, and now I'm going to drone again to 16, and then at 17 supply. So I'm going to make one more drone, I believe. There we go. So at 17 supply, I'm going to get a gas. So as you can see, I was probably a tiny bit late there. I was doing a little bit down there, but regardless, 17, get that gas. You probably should have built that drone a tiny bit earlier than I did. Still okay. So 15 hatch, I want to pause and go over. 15 hatch, 16 pool, 17 extractor. In that order. So you're going to go 15 hatch, then you'll go to 14 drones, then you build 2 drones, and you'll build a pool, you go down to 15, then you'll build 2 more drones, then you'll get your extractor at 17. And over here, I'm just kind of, you know, lollygagging, and I see he throws down another barracks right there, just barely. Doesn't matter too much, but it's a little bit helpful here because roaches are pretty good against marines. But you know, if he's going marauders or something, it's not as good. So I see also he didn't have that gas. I probably should check that gas, but I didn't see any gas. So now I'm going to start my queens on both of my hatcheries immediately, right? And I put 3 guys in gas immediately as soon as it popped up, right? So as soon as that gas finished, 3 guys went into gas. As soon as my hatcheries finished, I built 2 queens, and notice I'm still droning. I made 2 lings right here just to go kill this SCV off because I don't want him scouting my plans a little bit later, but you don't always have to get these. And now we are at the point where, okay, build a Roach Warren. So the reason that my Roach Warren is the tiniest bit late, right? In the last game, I built it like 428. But the reason is because I knew he had that SCV down there, and I wanted to make sure I killed the SCV off before I threw this down. It's not always, for certain that that has to happen, but it's really nice, just kind of a nice thing. So I get that down. I get the Roach Horn down at 440. You want it down around 427, I want to say. And I'm also going to double inject, of course, as soon as I do get my queens up and over my queen. There we go. So I'm going to inject on both of these. And now, what are we doing here? We're sitting at 26 supply. And I'm going to make one overlord, and then I'm going to make a second overlord as well. There we go. So I have 2 overlords on the way. The reason is because roach warrens are very expensive, right? Roach warrens cost a lot of, or roaches cost a lot of supply, and so you're going to need to be at that 44 out of 44 supply for when this pops. So this should time up pretty well for when this inject pops right here. Should be very close. I can inject again, and boom. So right here, the Roach Horn just finishes. I've got all my monies right here. I've pooled off gas at this point because I just want to do a 7 Roach Rush. So generally you want to pool off as close to 175 as you can. 176, I think is the number. So pool off there. And there we go, 6 roaches and 1 more, 7 roaches. Okay, so I immediately make my 7 roaches, and I have them rallied just out to here, but I think I'm going to rally them actually, I should be rallying them over here basically, right to the front of his base. Behind this, what are we doing? We are droning up. Notice this. I've made 4 drones. I'm now at 44 out of 44 supply. My next move is going to be getting a hatchery down at my 3rd base, because this is not all in whatsoever. This is just to do pressure. This is just to, be a little bit aggressive. I'm also going to do a little drone transfer over here to my natural, just kind of spread things out, because I had a lot of drones mining right here. I just want 16. So, these are things that you worry about a little bit later on. And now my roaches, that was a little misclick right there, but my roaches are moving on out. And what am I doing? I have sent this drone up here to take my 3rd base immediately, and I'm also getting an overlord right behind this. So these are the things that you want to start doing. This is what you want to start thinking about, is where am I going now in the future with this? Because it's not all in. I'm building another overlord even. And this is just kind of okay. Now I can drone off of this, so I'm going to keep making drones right here, yada yada yada. And now my roaches are going to get over to his base, and then we can see what he's doing, and we say, okay, so he doesn't have very much. He doesn't have a bunker that we can see, so this is where we can start to press really quickly. We can go ahead and poke right on in. Here we see that he's got this bunker. So I'm going to go ahead and just start moving forward. Not going to let him get this bunker up, right? So we're going to push forward. We're going to cancel this, and then I'm just going to be kind of stutter stepping my way forward here. I know he's going to be wanting to throw a bunker up, so I'm going to pick off the reactor, just kind of weaken the units, and just keep moving forward. Also notice the drones that I have been making up here. I am going to be floating a tiny bit of money. You know what? I should come back and inject, but I'm feeling really good about the damage that I can be doing right now, so I'm focusing a little bit more on my micro. But yeah, I can still macro even better behind this. And so now we can just sit there and pull back, right? Some stutter step micro, pick off some units, pick off some SCVs. And this is just 7 roaches. This isn't all in whatsoever. Look at the drone count. It is 38 drones to 23, and I'm continuing to drone. So here I want to focus down this Marauder. This is going to be a huge thing that you're going to want to do. I mean, of course, if Marine's right in sight, but notice how I am aggressively pushing forward towards the Marauder. And there we go. So this guy is going to be upset right there because 7 roaches came after his greedy play of no bunker, just going for like fast upgrades and all of this tech right here without getting any units out. But regardless, you'll be just fine back home. There you can see I've kind of macroed up a little more. I would say take your gases at this point. I kind of was going in for more of a killing blow there, so as you can see my macro did fall off for sure. But here, get a 3rd queen. You can get that right there. You can start getting your gases. You can start teching up to lair. I've grabbed another gas. I just haven't saturated it yet. And you can just move right into the next stage of the game while you're ahead. Now, somebody had a question. They said, what do I do when my Roach Horn is down? Because the Roach Horn comes down when the queens are about right here on the bar of production. He says when my Roach Horn comes down and the SCV sneaks in, gets in, and sees my Roach Horn. Well, here's what I do. I make 4 roaches, and then immediately I go and take my 3rd hatchery right here. The 4 roaches I then send to his base, because you can still do a little bit of damage. You can get in, you can still pick off some SCVs, you can still pick off a couple of Marines, yada yada yada, and on top of that you get a scout to see what is he doing. Is he going for Marines? Is he going for Marauders? Is he going for Hellion Marauder all in? I've had that happen a lot of times. And just with the Roach Scout, it's been so crucial because I get over there with my roaches. I've got my I've got 4 roaches or 7 roaches, whatever it is, and I push up and I see 3 barracks with tech labs and Hellions out. And I say, all right, this is a reactor Hellion push if I ever saw one. And what do? I come back home, I get speed because I like to have speed for that. I can throw down a couple spine crawlers, throw them at both my bases if I want, start spreading a little bit of creep, maybe go to a Baneling Nest. I mean, however you like to hold it personally, the Marauder Hellion all in. But yeah, so that's a very easy transition though. If for some reason he does scout it, just get the 4 roaches instead, and then take your third base and just go right into a macro game. But use those 4 roaches to at least push over here and just say, hey, what's he doing? Because at the very least, you can get in here and hold his Hellions back, maybe pick off a couple of units, whatever it is. So I hope that this game was a little bit more clear for you, a little bit more, or a little bit easier to understand, and a little more precise, so you can follow this and use this to your advantage in the ZvTs that you do play. So my name is Mr. Llama. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I will see you guys next time.